Hey people, what's happening? It's Tom back again for another reaction video. So I said to you a few weeks ago that we were going to have another update on the Kanye West situation in terms of his presidential campaign if and when anything happened. Well, it's happened. And it's happened in the form of his Kanye West's first campaign rally speech. Yes, it's on film, of course it is. It was in Carolina, or one of the southern states. Only a few hours ago, in front of a few thousand people, and it's not good. It's not good. It's very clear, I think, that Kanye West is a man that's unhinged mentally. His bipolar seems to have skyrocketed, because what we're actually looking at here is apparently a man going mad. He's clearly not well, and I mean that with love as well, because no one likes to see what we're about to see. But listen, let's watch it. Let's make our own. Let's make our own judgment call as to how we think his mental state is, what we think he should do from there, and yeah, let's just get into it, okay? So yeah, let's check this out. So the video, if you guys want to search for it, is called "Kanye West Makes Chaotic Presidential Rally Debut in South Carolina." Play.
I'm not trying to quiet your voices, actually, so I don't want to say that in an improper way. I just haven't had the time to word it in the most elegant way possible.
The setup doesn't look very
that's
presidential.
A move. When Harriett Tubman, Harriett Tubman never actually freed the slaves. She just had the slaves go work for other white people.
Y'all, we leaving right now.
Oh, fuck. I can't believe what he just said about Tubman.
You take the pills, and if you take it, it's a wrap. The baby's gone. So I was sitting up in Paris, and I had my leather pants on. You already know, if you got leather pants on, you already know who this person must think they are. Right? And I'm in the apartment where my wife was actually robbed.
A bulletproof vest on, and looks like he's got 2020 on his head.
And God said, if you fuck with my vision, I'm going to fuck with yours. And I called my wife. And she said, we're going to have this baby. My mom saved my life. My dad wanted to abort me. My mom saved my life. There would have been no Kanye West, because my dad was too busy.
Oh, God. Why is no one helping him? Get him off. Help him. Look at this fucking idiot in the background, just clapping. Come on, champ. Come on, champ. What the fuck are you doing? Take his hand and take him off stage. He's not well. Help him. Man.
Abortion should be legal.
Fuck's sake.
Maximum increase should be available. Maximum increase would be everybody that has a baby gets $1 million or something in that way.
Yeah, they weren't wrong when they said that that was some uncomfortable watching. Comfortable viewing, even. That is not good. Not good, not good, not good. It really pissed me off, that guy in the back. He was... Oh, who is he surrounding himself with? It's either one of two things. There are either people that are too scared to say no and push back, because he's Kanye West and he's cool, he's popular, and he pays them a lot of money, or they don't give a shit. Could even be both. Could even be both. I know that if that was me, and if that was someone that I cared about, truly cared about, I would not have let them stay on that stage. I would have took their hand, or I would have asked security to remove him from the stage. I would have took the bollocking from him backstage, and I would have made sure that they were okay. End of. You do. It's exactly what happened to Mike Tyson with the Don King situation. It's just someone exploiting a celebrity for their own gain. I want to know who his campaign runners are, who are his people in his circle, and why the fuck Kim and her family haven't protected him by putting him into some sort of institution. Don't temporarily, some therapy, just try and help him. Oh my God. So there were a few things that he said in that were obviously mind-blowingly offensive. The first and probably the most offensive thing he said there was about Harriett Tubman. For those of you who don't know who Harriett Tubman is, she's probably one of the most celebrated activists in 19th century North America. She was an African-American woman who was born into slavery, and she escaped slavery in her adult life, and what she actually did to make herself even more of a hero and even more brave is she made a conscious decision to turn back and go on up-teen missions. I'm not sure how many, I believe it's 12, 13 odd, to save or help rescue other enslaved people to North America, where they signed up for and fought in the Union in the American Civil War. I know that she was part of the suffrage rights, women's suffrage, and some other really important activist bits at the time. She is a hero. She is probably one of the bravest women you could ever read about. Her life has been horrific. So for Kanye West to come out on his high horse, and I can't even be mad at Kanye West right now because he clearly isn't mentally well. Who I'm mad about are all of the people in his corner. What the fuck are you doing? It's just beyond comprehension how selfish some people can be. And you know for a fact that there are at least half a dozen people profiting off this poor man's mental health decline, and they're filming it for us all to see. And you're going to get all of the idiots around the world jump on him for things that he's saying right now that he's obviously not in his clear mind to say. He needs to be taken away, and he needs help. He needs help. I don't know what's going on in his family life. I know that this can't be good for his relationship. And when he's screaming down he didn't even have a microphone. So that's one thing I wanted to get into. So I've got here an article from The Guardian, which are the same journalists that reported this video. And in it, they just stated some of the other things that Kanye touched upon. And one of the remarkable things that he came out and said was, obviously he wanted to do it his way. He's a visionary, in his own words. And notice that he didn't come out with a microphone. He came out with 2020 shaved into his head and a bulletproof vest, a bit like 50 back in the day. And one of the things that he said, he kept telling the audience to be quiet, like we saw at the start there. Well, that continued apparently throughout the hour or however long it was. And he said that don't worry about this. I'm gonna improve the acoustics. The acoustics in all of the next rallies are going to be amazing because I'm going to be designing them. So what else has he put here? Kanye West has launched his campaign for US president. Election in a chaotic fashion at an event in Charleston, South Carolina. And to say those things, listen, all you need to do is Google Charleston, South Carolina racism. You will see millions of web pages or videos on YouTube giving you a brief and broad history account as to how important Charleston is, not just in the civil rights movement, but in the Civil War. Charleston was a huge part of the American Civil War. So to go there and speak about and speak about Tubman in the way he did, you can understand why the crowd reacted in such a negative way. They would have reacted negative anywhere, but it's like going to Washington and slagging off the architecture of the White House. You don't do it, do you? Right, so we've got here, the rapper took to the stage at the event wearing a bulletproof vest, as we saw, and 2020 shaved into his head. Without a mic, he proceeded to address the rowdy audience of a few hundred people, asking for complete silence before asserting that future events will be in a room where the acoustics will be incredible because he will be personally involved with the design. Okay, so what else has he got going on here? West repeatedly referenced the terms of his deal with Adidas, his faith in God and racism in the US. So I can understand why he's using faith and racism, especially in a state like Carolina, where those things were rife at a certain time, and there's still a massive undercurrent of racism now to go. And especially with the whole Black Lives Matter movement that's going on at the minute, which is brilliant, it has to be addressed. Of course it does. Adidas deal, not so much. So where are we left off for? West repeatedly, yes, we've had that. So Harriett Tubman, it's got the quote there. I'm not going to repeat it because there's no point banging on and trying to dig this bloke a grave when he's clearly not well. It takes a village to raise a child, he said. Society has been set up for single mums to not have a village, to not have a child. Okay, let's see, in a southern state as well that's so religious, especially with Catholicism, it's really difficult to have people's vote when you're talking about abortion because they're so anti-abortion. It's very much God's will down there. West's remarks, which were mostly yelled in order to be heard by the crowd, repeatedly circled back to his Christianity. Smart move, you're in a Christian state, why not? We're all equal in God's eyes, he said. Sometimes people are controlled by demons. Can you see the irony? Struggling to be heard, West repeatedly told audience members to be quiet at the same time as assuring them that he wasn't trying to quiet their voices. The event ended after West was subsequently drowned out by the shouting crowd. So it seems like the event was actually cut short by what I'm reading here. I haven't watched the whole thing, so I don't want to take this out of context. My point to this video is this. Don't jump on Kanye West. It's clearly not his fault. Anyone that watches this can clearly see that he's a man that isn't doing great at the minute mentally. He's got some demons, whether that's stemming back from his early family years when he's talking about his mother and his father, whether or not it's coming from life lessons learnt throughout his life, like what we've seen there with him bringing up the possibility of him aborting his daughter and how close they were to actually doing it. So please don't jump on Kanye West. This is a guy that's not really well at the minute. What should happen is, I think his ecosystem needs to be held to accountability. We need to find out who's in that system, who's doing what in terms of a job role, and how involved are they with him in his personal decisions. And a bit of a shout out to the Kardashians. I think that they really need to take control of this now as soon as possible. And if you're one of Kanye West's friends, i.e. the likes of Jay-Z, then I think that they also need to step in, not publicly, but privately, try and help him out as much as you possibly can by keeping him away from cameras. Anyway, guys, listen, let me know what your thoughts are on this. I think it's pretty safe to say that he's not going to be the next US president, which is a shame because if he was of sound body and mind, then I think he'd have a real shot. But unfortunately, it is what it is, and it's the timing, really unfortunate timing at the minute with poor Kanye. So, yeah, let me know what you think, guys. Thanks for sticking around. I'll give you another update as to what's going on with it, what Kim releases. I might just do a little selfie video with it and pop it up for you. But there it is, guys. So the next video, 1 million subscribers.